Hello everyone, welcome back. Netflix's Avatar: The Last Airbender live-action remake is happening. It recently got a little teaser trailer and a few images revealed, and first of all, I gotta say, it's pointless for this remake to exist. In my opinion, remaking an animated show or movie into live action is not only pointless, but it also undermines the medium of animation and, what it can do and how different live action is from animation. It's a whole thing. Now, before I get into that, I do want to talk about the images that were revealed. They showed what Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko are going to look like. And so far, the costume design looks great. Aang's costume design in particular is pretty much identical to the animated show. They took some creative liberties with some of the other costumes, but it looks good. Just judging by these images, it is unmistakably Avatar: The Last Airbender, which is more than I can say about the live action movie. That is a big plus, and it's entirely possible that this remake can be very faithful to the original. I mean, it's entirely possible. However, there's one big problem with this. It's live action. There's nothing wrong with live action, of course, but the issue is they're remaking an animated show into live action. Animation and live action are very different things. This trend of remaking animated stuff into live action has become very popular thanks to Disney and them remaking their classics that didn't need to be remade at all. And now Netflix is trying to do the same thing, except this time they're trying to remake an animated show. And here's the thing. There is absolutely no point to remake an animated show or movie into live action unless you're trying to cash in on nostalgia. I genuinely don't know what remaking Avatar: The Last Airbender into live action will do for the story. What is it going to do? And here's the thing. They're going to use animation anyway. That's what every live action remake does. The Beast in Beauty and the Beast is completely CGI. Will Smith's Genie is CGI. Pinocchio is completely CGI. It's like they know they can't just ditch the animation aspect of an animated movie. And Avatar: The Last Airbender has a lot of magical elements to it with people bending fire, earth, water, air. Most of that is probably going to be animated. Most of that bending is probably going to be animated. So my question is, why not go all out? Why not make the show fully animated like the original? I think it would be far more interesting to see a remake of Avatar: The Last Airbender, but with modern animation. Now, while this remake is essentially pointless to me, it shouldn't need to exist. It doesn't need to exist. I do have hope for it because Netflix has a decent track record for adapting stories that already had an adaptation, but the Netflix adaptation turned out to be better. Case in point, A Series of Unfortunate Events, a book series with 13 installments. It got a movie adaptation in 2004 starring Jim Carrey that is a good movie on its own, but let me tell you, it is a terrible adaptation. Cramming the first 3 books into a 90-minute movie made for absolutely terrible pacing and an awful retelling of the story. The Netflix adaptation, however, was an actual series, with each book getting 2 45-minute parts. And the entire story is there from book 1 to book 13. People don't talk about this show anymore, and it's a real shame, but it's genuinely one of the best adaptations I have ever seen. So Netflix faithfully adapting Avatar: The Last Airbender into live action is not that far of a stretch. They can definitely do it. They've done it in the past. And they're also putting a big budget on the show with a $15 million budget for each episode. Now, a bigger budget doesn't mean that it's going to be good. We've learned this from the Rings of Power Amazon series. Even though they threw a ton of money into it, it turned out to be pretty bad. But normally, when Netflix puts a big budget into something, they want to make it good. Stranger Things and The Crown are both good shows in my opinion, and they both have very high budgets. I think there's a correlation there. Think about how much money they're putting into this show. $15 million per episode is half the cost of each episode for Stranger Things 4. Stranger Things is Netflix's top show. Many people subscribe to Netflix just to see the latest season of Stranger Things. So the fact that Avatar: The Last Airbender's episodes will be half the budget of their top show is very interesting. In my opinion, there is no reason to remake Avatar: The Last Airbender. Unless you're remaking it into modern animation, there can be some value in that. However, I am hopeful for this live-action adaptation because of Netflix's track record, the fact that they're putting a big budget into it, and that the images they released look promising. I really hope it's good because with all the terrible Disney live-action remakes that have come out over the years, it'd be really nice to have a good live-action remake for a change. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be uploading more frequently, so stay tuned for more content to come.